Right. I hope that some of you caught that cool little graphic at the beginning of this. My name is Manny Wolf, and I am the founder and creator of the Opus speaker system, speaker marketing system. I'm also the founder and creator of Manny Wolf Brands and the founder and creator of a whole bunch of other stuff too. I'm the founder and creator of this morning breakfast shake that I love so much. Let's see here. Comments. Let's open up the comments there. See who we've got. Does it actually let me? No, it doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys the simplest framework you could possibly ever need in order to create your content. In that framework, I'm going to give you 3 simple things to remember. And if you do this, you'll never really struggle with content creation again, specifically video, specifically going off the cuff. Here's what happens. A lot of the time when we set out to create content, we put way too high of expectations on ourselves. Hey, what's up, Matt? Thank you for jumping in. Like we really hold ourselves to an impossibly, ridiculously, prohibitively high standard. And this is just like it sounds. It's impossible, it's ridiculous, and it's prohibitive. Not everyone is going to be a winner. And that's so much more than okay. You just have to accept that. Not every piece of content you create is going to be a winner, and that's fine. Remember, what we're after with content creation is it's an ongoing practice, right? We should never judge ourselves and never be harsh on ourselves for not being able to sort of nail it every time. The more content that you produce, the more good content you will produce. If your content is not good, think about it this way. People will just ignore it. And then when a good piece comes along, they'll pay attention to it. That's how it works, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my old public speaking courses from college. I'm going to take you guys on a journey. I'm going to take you back. Can we go back? Let's go back. Let's go back to the first public speaking course I ever took. And let me check in with Matt here. Matt says, so true. I'm just shooting for the first 100 videos right now. Perfect, man. Perfect. And don't beat yourself up about how they look. One of the problems that I see a lot of people doing is thinking they have to script out their content first. Oh, no wonder you're not producing content. If I had to script out everything I created before I did it, I think I'd shoot myself in the mouth. That would be insane. You don't have to do that, okay? You don't have to do that. Your boy is here to help you. So let's talk about what you can do. There's a framework for public speaking, a framework for writing speeches. And once you get the framework inside of you, you can improvise over the top of it. Now, this is huge, right? Because it means that you don't have to have a specific plan for everything you do. It means you can play it fast and loose. You've got to understand the framework, though. And here it is, the framework of 3. The framework of 3 brought to you by Manny's public speaking coach, or I guess professor in college. Tell them what you're going to tell them. If you need an example of that, look at the title of this video. I told you what I was going to tell you. I told you I was going to give you the world's simplest content framework, right? And now I'm doing it, which is number 2. Tell them. So tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them. And then the end is tell them what you just told them. Seems too easy, right? So it might sound something like this. Let's use the old widgets example that we used in college to learn this. if it was public speaking and if it was formalized and if it was clunky and not organic and fluid like this is now, it would go something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Manny Wolf, and I'm here today to talk to you about widgets. There are 3 things you need to know about widgets that I'm going to share with you. 1 is what it costs to produce them. 2 is the purposes they serve in your life. And 3 is the cost to replace them. So I've just stepped up on the podium imaginarily. I've told you what I'm going to tell you, haven't I? Didn't I just tell you what I was going to talk about? Then I would go into it and I'd actually tell you the information. First, let's talk about what it costs to produce a widget. Now, what you need to understand here is that our costs have dropped 2% year over year, which means that we are ahead in production and costs of every other widget manufacturer in the tri-state area. Just elaborated on number 1. Number 2, the purpose, the uses of widgets in your life. The reason it's important that we're reducing our costs year over year and have dominated the tri-state area is because widgets are an essential part of daily life for our audience. They go great on toast, they stir your tea, they walk your dog, they change your oil, they take your kids to school. Widgets are indispensable. See, and now I've just told you about number 2. Number 3, the cost to replace a widget. The one challenge that we face in our industry that we are aggressively seeking to dominate leadership in the solutions to, it's a little rhythmic rhetoric there for you. We won't go into that today. That we are aggressively seeking to dominate the industry in solutions to is the replacement cost of widgets. Thus far, up until now, widget replacement has been a prohibitive expense for most families in the tri-state area, which is why we're proud to produce, we're proud to offer, we're proud to reveal our new restructured widget financing. Okay, so I'm winging all this. All this is off the top of my head. I hope you understand that. But what have I done here? I've given you the 3 things I was going to talk about. So first, remember I said this was the rule of 3s. First, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. And then inside of what you tell them, it's ideal to have 3 points. So you've got 3 main things. This is your framework. Tell me what you're going to talk about it, and then tell me what you just talked about. And in the part of the middle section where you're actually talking about it, it's best to break it up into 3s. Widget manufacturing, the use of widgets in our lives, and the cost of replacements for widgets. 3. Now, if you really want to get fancy inside of each of those 3, you can break them down into 3 as well. There's a couple of things that happen here. First of all, this organizes beautifully inside your mind once you get used to it. It allows you to speak off the cuff in a very confident, very dynamic fashion because you know that you're just working in little sets of 3. So now the final set, tell me what you told me. Ladies and gentlemen, I am thrilled that we're rolling out our new widget financing program. And just as a recap, I want to remind you, today we covered the cost of widgets in our area, the purpose of widgets in the lives of our customers, and the up until now prohibitive cost of replacing widgets. Okay, so there it is, put into a very formulaic, very rigid first semester of college kind of setting. But thank you, Matt. Thank you. Now I want to sort of move it over into your coaching, into what you do. Let's say you are a book coach and you need to do a lot of videos that have to do with books. And you know that you want to create from those videos, you want to create a sense of authority, a sense of positioning, and a sense of demonstrating your expertise, right? So prior to getting on and doing a live stream or creating a video, you might sit down and you might create a list of content pieces. I would highly suggest you do this. Sit down ahead of time and create a list of content pieces. So let me see what Matt says. Matt says, I always appreciate it when consuming content with the summary at the end. Right, because it makes it concise and easy to remember. John Pernuris, welcome. Thank you for joining. So now let's look at hypothetically your coaching. I've given you a very, again, rigid, kind of clunky, what it might sound like, what it probably did sound like for me in my first semester of public speaking in college. Let's get a little more fluid now, okay? Again, you're a book coach in this example. So what I would suggest to you is to sit down every 2 weeks, every week, every month, and plot out some topics. Plot out some topics for your content. One of the things that is the most challenging is to just sit down at the computer or sit in front of your phone or whatever it is, your camera, and try to be creative and brilliant on the spot. This is very, very challenging, and I do not recommend this when the fix is so easy. The fix to get around that is so easy. Just sit down for 10 or 15 minutes and jot down ideas and then follow those ideas. You can create your content in 15 minutes for the next 2 weeks. Not word for word, you understand, but your ideas. Then when you sit down in front of the computer like I am here, you can just look at your list and you can say, oh, okay, I'm going to talk about how to write a good table of contents. Remember, you're a book coach. Or I'm going to talk about formatting, or I'm going to talk about lead gen using your book, or I'm going to talk about self-publishing versus whatever, right? And when you do that, you then follow the rule of threes content framework formula. Once you know your topic, tell me what you're going to talk to me about. Talk to me about the thing, and then summarize, revise, recap. Tell me what you just talked about. And the way that we express this is tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you just told them. Eric Swanson, big brother, what's up, man? Ah, yes. By the way, Eric, since I've got you on here, let's connect soon. Let's jump on a phone call or at least a little messaging sesh soon and cover some things, bro. Okay, cool. So once again, simplest content framework that I can give you that will make your content easier. And I forgot to say this, it'll make you seem more knowledgeable. Tell me what you're going to tell me, and then tell me what you just told me. So here, I have told you that I'm going to teach you a content framework. I have broken down the content framework for you using 2 examples, the widget example and the book coach example. And now I am summarizing for you what I just told you. I told you what I was going to tell you. I told you, and then I'm telling you what I just told you. You see how that works? So, awesome, Eric. Awesome, brother. So I'd like to offer you guys a free gift. If you don't already have it, I'd like to give you my free content strategy. And so here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to jump in here. I'm getting a little slick here because I'm broadcasting on my laptop. And now I'm going to go into my phone and paste the link to my content strategy guide right in the chat there, as you can see. Yes, Eric, I can't wait to be there, brother. I don't suppose it's inappropriate to announce to the world that I've been invited to speak at the Habitude Warrior Conference with the mighty Eric Swanson. Eric is a true jewel in our industry. He's one of the friendliest, most supportive, most kind and genuinely concerned for the outcomes of others, people that I've ever met. So Eric, that's for you, buddy. I've given you guys the most simple, powerful framework so that you can improvise your content improvise your content and look good every time. I've given you 2 examples of it, haven't I? I gave you the widget example and I gave you the book coach example. I've gone into elaborate detail for you. Now, one of the problems you may be perceiving that you'd have is coming up with the content ideas in the first place. And to that end, I've given you a link in the chat to my free content strategy guide. I'm going to suggest that you take the guide. Get the guide. It's going to cost you an email address, but it's going to give you so much more. And besides, who wouldn't want to be part of my email list anyway? I deliver nothing but good stuff to you. I will make offers in the list sometimes, but God, I haven't even made an offer in my list in months. It's just showing you guys love. So tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them what you told them. Plan out your content ahead of time, and you will become a content machine. And if you need help planning out, pardon me, if you need help planning out your content, grab my free content strategy guide. It's that simple. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Eric, you bring energy every time you jump on my live streams. Oh, geez. God, I got faked out there. Okay. I thought I was going to sneeze like 4 times. That's brutal. So guys, once again, massive value to you from me because I want you to succeed, okay? I want you to succeed. That having been said, that's the end of this live stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Do me a favor. If this is valuable, yeah, Eric, you should have, bro. If this is valuable to you, please share it. If you know somebody who could benefit from having some help with their content, please share this with your people. I really appreciate it. That would be amazing. And grab the content strategy guide. Okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow.